back for another tale of adventure of cars driving to Darien Lake and having issues along the way. This one was yet another failed trip. We did not even make it to Darien Lake on this one. We were driving my father had a 1977 Lincoln Town Car, 460 big block, 4-barrel, the C6 automatic. Was in decent shape, solid body. Interior wasn't bad. The vinyl roof was gone. It had just been painted, I think, with like some gray primer or something. Don't remember how many miles the poor thing had on it, but God only knows. The shifter had broken in the column where the pin goes through to the actual part you pull towards you and then up and down. So my father had a pair of vice grips on there, and that was his shifter. He had put a hitch on the car, and we had a 1960-something weekender camper that belonged to my grandparents. It was 6 feet by 8 feet, maybe 6 by 10. Not a very big camper. So we had that attached to the back. My mother, my father, myself, and my little sister all headed off to Darien Lake for the weekend. We took back roads, did not take the New York State Thruway, and we got as far as 21. There's a place called the Hiltamora Pageant. We were driving on 21, and we were right in front of the Hiltamora Pageant, which is a huge pageantry thing from the Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. And all of a sudden the engine, I believe, just let loose. Boom, done. Coasted over to the side of the road, and there we were. Palmyra. That's where we were. We were in Palmyra. So we just passed the gas station a mile or two back, a couple miles back, I believe. So my father and I went for a walk, left my sister and my mother with the vehicle, and walked back to the gas station. Called the tow truck. Asked the gas station people if it would be alright if we left the vehicle there overnight. We stayed in the camper. They had a huge parking lot behind the building. And they said that was okay. So my father and I believe we waited there for the tow truck. He picked us up, went down to where the car was, hooked up the camper and the car together onto the back of the truck. Cab of the truck only sat 3 people, so my mother and my sister sat in the front of the truck with the tow truck driver, and my father and I sat in the front seat of the car. So he pulled it down to the New York State Thruway entrance that was right down the road, did a U-turn, brought us back to the gas station, dropped us in the parking lot, and away he went. So my parents called my brother, who was quite a bit older than me, and asked him if the following morning, I believe he was working that evening or something. I know it still wasn't dark yet when we got to the gas station. Because my sister and I remember we had a ball. My parents gave us some money. There was they had a boatload of penny candy. We were in there buying all kinds of candy. So obviously we slept in the camper. So my parents slept, there was a table that folded down to a bed. They slept in the bed, my little sister in between them, and I slept on when you walked in the back door, the door was right in the very back of the camper. You walked in, there was a little furnace and I think a closet on one side, the stove and icebox on the other. big table was in the very front, so they were on that, and then I slept on the floor between the table and the back door. Well, come to find out, we parked over a red ant's nest. They crawled up through the vent in the bottom of the floor, and I got bit by a bunch of red ants while I was sleeping, which made for a nice itchy day the next day. In the morning, we called my brother. He went to my parents' house, and back then people weren't real big on locking doors, but we had locked the front door of our house. Mind you, we lived in a trailer. We had an addition on the back of the trailer, and our dog was tied up out back behind the house at the back door, so nobody was getting in the house, including, unfortunately, my brother. She wouldn't let my brother near the door, so she loved to chase anything. We throw anything and she would chase it. So my brother climbed up on the front of the trailer, walked across the roof of the trailer in the addition, was above the side door that went into the back of the addition. I don't know if he had a frisbee or what he had, but he tossed that. She ran to go get that. He jumped down onto the ground, or the porch, went in the back door real quick and closed the door so that he could get in the house. Got the keys to my parents' second vehicle, which was a 1977 also Ford Ltd 2 station wagon. Big old gold colored station wagon with a 351 modified 400 in it, automatic. He grabbed a tow chain and he drove out to where we were at the gas station, hooked the chain up to it, and then my father drove the station wagon, and he was going to flat tow him back to our house. And we lived in Oswego, so it was a good, probably an hour, close to an hour's drive, not an hour. Well, apparently going down the road, the car was so heavy with all power brakes and everything, plus towing the trailer, it was just too much to really be doing safely. So we ended up pulling into the parking lot of a little strip mall, abandoned the town car there for the night, all rode home in the station wagon. My father talked to his old boss, who owned a garage, and he was able to borrow his tow truck, and went out the following afternoon after work and towed the car back home. And once it got it home, man, the motor was toast. It was no good, so that got pushed out back behind the house. So that was just another tale of, a couple of disappointed kids that didn't make it to Darien Lake that day, but we made the best of it by hanging out at a gas station parking lot, eating penny candy. Do have another story another time for the second 1977 Lincoln Town Car we owned that summer, and the trip we tried making to Darien Lake with that one. But that's a tale for another time. Thank you for watching Joe Sway 74. Goodbye.